You know, Eddie Izzard has sold out arenas as a stand-up comedy star, of course, raised thousands of pounds by running 32 marathons in 31 days and come very, very close to be selected as a Labour MP. But back in March, she told me about her biggest challenge yet, a new show playing 19 different characters. 19?
19, well, it's 19 and maybe 20. It's a little difficult. Some characters only say one line, and I've tried to give them enough definition, a different voice, a slightly different physicality. Yeah, it's drama. When I started stand-up, I watched Richard Pryor, the great American stand-up, and he had a way of doing characters, adopting a voice and saying, "I don't know, you know, what are you doing here? I'm standing over here." And then he would have these characters who would normally talk just one character, but sometimes he would have them turning to another character. You think that's a good idea? I don't know if it is a good idea. Well, why don't you try it? Well, I don't know. And I thought, oh, that's what stand-ups do. Most stand-ups don't do that. They tend to project forward, but they don't have characters talking to it. But I thought that everyone did it, so I just kind of went on and developed my stand-up having characters talking, sometimes up to 4 characters. And then I realised that this technique could work on drama as well. Sure. The whole story of my thing is that I'm severely atypically dyslexic. This is what they've said of my dyslexia. Half the traits I've got strongly and half I haven't got. So I'm a sort of high-functioning dyslexic. But reading a book takes forever. My spelling was cat with a K, ceiling with an S. I Spy games went on forever in the early days with my brother and my father. And even Mum, I remember doing spelling with Mum before she died. So I wasn't good at that. My handwriting's all over the place. Reading a book took forever. I'd never read a work of literature, I realised. Right. So I thought if I did an audiobook, then I'd have to read a work of literature.
Of course.
That was my brilliant idea. I thought it was a brilliant idea.
So you're doing Great Expectations. You've done it already in New York, in Broadway. It's been a massive success. So you're bringing it over here. Yep,
it got these rave reviews in New York.
Amazing reviews.
Performance of the year, prepared to be transfixed. So that was wonderful that the New Yorkers said that. So coming to the Garrick Theatre on the 24th of May, we're opening up and I'm playing for 6 weeks. Looking forward to it. And it's just, people seem to love it. I have to play Estella and Miss Havisham and Pip and Magwitch, changing the sounds. And
so you change your voice, you change your body.
Positives. Magwitch is much more Danny, you know. And Pip is just me. As a young kid, it's much more of a child's voice, and it's much more a country fade. And then he becomes more educated. Oh, it sounds amazing. You're billed as Eddie in that one. But we know that you like Susie. You're trying Susie. Well, since the age of 10... Tell me about Susie, because you love the name, right? Yeah, when I was 10, I just thought, I think it was To Sir with Love, Sidney Poitier film. Susie Kendall was in that. Susie S-U-Z-Y. Yes. And I just thought, I'd like to have that name. But, of course, at that time, I wasn't telling anyone. I knew I was what it seems now to be trans. I couldn't define it when I was a young kid. But I just sort of think, well, that's not happening. Then I took off as Eddie, and I thought, well, it doesn't matter. And then it's got Edward John in my passport, so I just thought, why don't I add Susie in there? Yeah. And then there's all this people not showing what to say, and I said, well, I prefer Susie, but I don't mind Eddie. I prefer she, her, don't mind he, him. Right. No one can make a mistake with me unless they call me Gregory or Sabrina, and then that's not quite right. That's not quite right, and you would have to correct them. Everything else, no one can make a mistake, and they could choose. So you're quite relaxed. Really, you're relaxed about it. Because you know it's difficult for trans people right now. It's got really toxic and it's really hard. Well, the interesting thing is I was talking to a gay activist friend of mine from Salt Lake City, where they have a great LGBTQ group there working, a bunch of activists, and he said, well, the tough time that trans people are going through now, and the arguments, there weren't any arguments 20 years ago, and gay and lesbian arguments about marriage equality, all about that, they were going through that, and this is just the time we have to go through to get to the better time. Yeah, I'm sure of this. I am sure of this, because when I came out 38 years ago, 85, I keep adding an extra year as the years go on, no one was talking at all about trans people. We were non-people, we were toxic people, we were just other. And we were not in a conversation. Now the conversation's happening, quite heated, but this idea of culture wars, I think it's wrong. I think that's the right wing just stirring things up. Sure. Most people, when I was campaigning in Sheffield to be an MP, most people just said, hello, Eddie, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah. And they were lovely and chatty, and it is like, I think 90, 95% of the country, maybe the world, are just saying, live and let live.
Oh, absolutely.
It's your own personal self.
100%.
You're being your authentic self.
Yeah.
And then there's 2 to 5% of people who want to stir it up and get angry and shout and get very angry on the internet, which I just ignore.
You mentioned Sheffield.
Yes.
Didn't quite get there.
Yep.
But that's not put you off.
No. As I said, I'm going into politics. I'm going to push and push and push and push until I become an MP. I mean, I'm just going to carry on, because coming out was truthful. At least, you know, I was telling the truth back 38 years ago when I said, this is me, this is what's inside me. So that's, you know, it's difficult to be a politician. It's difficult to live a good and positive life. I've tried, if people track back through my life, I've tried to do things that are positive, doing gigs in different languages, running marathons, raising money. I've just tried to be upfront and play with a straight bat. A straight bat. As they say in cricket.
It's quite difficult to say.
Sometimes with a straight bat, but more with a straight bat.
But the thing is, you've got this amazing global career, hugely successful, and it's kind of like you're willing to kind of put that aside in order to do what you believe in, you know, to stand as an MP. I mean, that's remarkable, because it's like a burning building that you're running towards. Most people are running away. Well,
politics, if you think politics is tough now, it's always been tough. Go back through history, it's always been... Yeah. Some things have been OK, but some things have been horrible. Well, why is that? Why can't we change that? Think of the slavery, all the arguments trying to get through slavery, and some people saying, no, you know, they tended to be right-wingers. No, let's keep slavery. And everyone else is saying, we've got to get rid of this horrendous thing. So I want to go in because I can communicate. I have a vision of the future, which is everyone has the right to a fair chance in life. That's everyone in our country, in our continent, and in our world. Yeah. 8 billion people. Right now, they have the right to a fair chance in life. We just have to let them have it. Yeah. And if we don't do it this century, I don't think we're going to make it as human beings, because we just... This endless toxic thing of turning everyone against each other. You know, live and let live. That's the way to have lives, and try and be positive. I don't know the meaning of life. I'm not sure what the meaning of life is, but some I don't think there is necessarily a meaning of life, but some people put meaning into life, and some people take meaning out of life.
Oh, that's a very wise thing to say.
I think you put meaning into life. I think anyone positive saying, yes, run some marathons, raise some money, try something, that's putting meaning into life. But I don't think there's an intrinsic thing that says this is what life means. But some of us really try to do something positive.
Keep doing it. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.